Hey Revit Nation, this is Chris with Valor VDC, and today I'd like to talk to you about mostly perfect backgrounds. Yeah, I said it, mostly perfect. I say that because not all architects are created equally. Some are just better than others. But for the most part, you can adapt it and make it work. But before we jump into Revit, I'd like to remind you to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so we can keep bringing you this fabulous content. Now that we're inside of Revit, this is what I'm talking about with a mostly perfect background. We get some room names and everything else, and things are moving. I say mostly perfect because we don't have them down here, and I'll tell you why in a bit. So, this is one floor. Let's jump down to the floor below, and this is pretty much what you usually get with your regular Revit files. You get just the background. It's called the host view, and that's usually what you're stuck with. It's good for modeling, but not so good when you're trying to create your deliverables. So here is the best way to go about it. What I do is first I start with the contract drawing. So I'll bring in some Bluebeam, and I figure out what floor that I want to bring in the background from. This is level 7. It's actually level 7 through 15. So I go in here and I find the contract drawing number. And after I find the contract drawing number, which is A242B, let me minimize that. I go to the architect's model. And then I look for the drawing here. Most architects will give you all their sheet views and everything else. Some of them want to be a pain in the ass and won't give you any. But for the most part, you usually get this. So what I can do is I can go in here and I can find that sheet number, which is one of these two. And then when I expand it, this is A, or let's just go to B because that's what we were looking at. So when I expand it, it tells me the name of the view that the architect used to create the sheet model. And it's somewhere up in here, but it's really not that important because I don't need it. The only thing I need to know is the name of it. So after I find out what name is on that sheet, I can even open up the sheet and see what this looks like here. And you can see it matches the PDF file I just showed you. So it looks like it just doesn't have the other background. So what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll find that name, and then the name is Rentable Enlarged Tower 1, Tier 1, Floor 7 through 15 East. And I'll come in here, and then what I'll do is I'll go to Visibility Graphics, I'll go to Revit Links, and I'll find the linked file, and I'll go here, and I'll click on Host View, and then I go to Links by Linked View. By doing that, it allows you to go to every single view shown over here. It just picks them up, and then you just scroll down to your rentable. Okay, that's not it because we were looking for East, and so we go down here, and here it is right here. You click on this and you bring it in, and then you hit OK, and what it's going to do is it's going to reference all that data in. So you can see it all came in, but it's all jumbled and different stuff like that. But you know that you have it all there. So what I do now is I go back into Visibility Graphics, and I'll go here. I'll go back to Display Settings, Linked View, and I'll change that to Custom. And if you remember your old AutoCAD days, you get your CAD links and your CAD files, and you would XREF them in. And before you would do that, you'd have to go through and clean them up. That's exactly what we're going to do in about 3 seconds. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come here and I'm going to hit all, and I'm going to uncheck everything. And I'm going to check area tags, and then I'm going to scroll all the way down to room tags. And I'm going to check room tags. And I usually check spot elevations and spot coordinates, stair, and stair pass. And then I start with that. And then let's see what it looks like here. So I hit apply, and what it does is it takes away everything else, but I still have all this other crap. I got the scope boxes and stuff that I don't want to see, So I'll go to host view. Whoops, looks like it's only going to let me do it one at a time. So we're going to redo this again. And I'll go to host view here, and then I'll go here. And I don't need to turn anything off. Or I'm sorry, I need to turn things off. I'll just go to custom and I'll uncheck that box because this is the exterior file. If you remember, that architectural file didn't have the exterior windows. And then I go here and I just turn everything off. Now this is an example of not very good. If I were to go back to the basics here, you'd notice that there's nothing here. It's because the structural engineer, when he gave us his link, he didn't provide any drawings in there. It's just one 3D view. Like I said, not all architects are created the same, but just to make sure that I don't have anything floating around in there, scope boxes or anything else, I'll come in here and I'll uncheck this, and then I'll hit OK, and bam, you got a mostly perfect background. Everything works. Now, earlier I said not all architects are created the same, and this is what I mean. This architect in particular, he did his views by area, so you got east and west. So if you noticed, there's no annotation down here. So you got to do the same thing on the other side, and you're just kind of linked there. But this is the easiest way to bring in a view and to clean it up for to put your deliverables on. If you're electrical, plumbing, duct, whatever, you can go ahead and add it in there. The old days, you'd have to do the CAD files and you got to clean them up. So there's no longer going through doing that. Now, one of the things that I do is, because this guy only gave me half a building and I don't want to work in an 1/8 inch view for my drawings, I'll go in here and I'll go to that view. Right here, I'll open it up from the sheet. And I'll go in here and I'll turn everything off for the most part. Oh, my bad. Got to turn off the view template. So what I'll do is I'll turn everything off and I'll hit VG. And I'll go to annotation categories. And I'll hit all like I did before. And I'll click area, room, spot and scope, stair and stair pass. And it cleans it up the same way as it did before. The only difference is, like I said, I don't have the architectural exterior linked. But if you did that, then you could just go over here. You can export it to a CAD file, and you can link in the CAD file. So if you don't want to use an 1/8 inch view, and you're going to use 1/4 inch per foot like most people do, you can do it that way there too. I would caution you, if you do use CAD files, do not link them into your model. And I'm going to do another video on how to handle CAD files inside of Revit. They're a cancer. You don't want to do it. And if someone ever explodes a CAD file inside of your Revit model, you will be hating life for a very long time. So that's it. Like I said before, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell. Thanks.